Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Test 1 2.
Well, good morning, baseball fans. We are broadcasting live from Nobby's Ballpark on the campus of Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. We're getting set for breakfast in baseball, an 8:30 scheduled first pitch between the Ithaca Bombers and the Alvernia Golden Wolves. My name is Kyle Haney. I'll be the chef for today's breakfast in baseball. It's actually breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's the start of a really fun day here at Nobby's. We're going to have 3 ball games. It's all part of the NCAA D3 baseball Cleveland region, hosted by Case Western Reserve. And Case and Lynchburg will be in game 2 at noon, scheduled for noon anyway. You know how these baseball days can go. We do have a little light mist in the area, but I don't think rain will be a problem today here at Nobby's Ballpark. The teams, again, the Ithaca Bombers 31-10, the Alvernia Golden Wolves 28-17. This is a loser's bracket game. This is an elimination game. So despite the early start time, I think you are still going to see that edge that an elimination game has. Sometimes that frantic, desperate sort of a feel there when teams know that their season is on the line. Ithaca lost to Lynchburg yesterday, a pitcher's duel game. The Bombers led 1-0 through the first 6 innings, and then Lynchburg flipped the script in the 7th with 2 runs. They added an insurance run in the 9th. It was a 3-1 loss for Ithaca. Their bullpen's in order. They only used 1 pitcher yesterday. We'll revisit that outstanding start from Colin Laney. And we'll talk about the Alvernia Wolves some as well. They were in action in Game 1 against the host team, Case Western Reserve. Alvernia trailed that entire game, but they were never really out of it. It was 7-0 at one point, but the Golden Wolves kept fighting in that ball game. And I think they showed some real signs of promise. Alvernia's bullpen should be in good working order as well. They only used 2 pitchers yesterday in Game 1. So here we go, the lineup for Ithaca. It'll be the same leadoff man, Colin Shishadi. In fact, the outfield bats 1, 2, 3 for Ithaca. Colin Feeney is the center fielder, hitting second. Louis Fabo, 225 career hits, will bat third. Camden Laney, the first baseman, cleaning up. Ethan McDonough, the DH, fifth. Ryan Lobsher, third baseman. That'll be a change, hitting sixth for Ithaca. Starting catcher Tyler Puglisi's back there. Again, here's our first ball in play for the breakfast in baseball session. Strong throw by the shortstop Bobby Hansen for Alvernia will record the first out of the game. Finishing out the lineup, Ethan Rothstein, second baseman, will hit 8th for Ithaca. I believe that's a change as well. And Riley Brody, the shortstop, batting 9th. We've already mentioned the shortstop Bobby Hansen for Alvernia. We'll set the rest of the defense here in just a second, but tell you about the starting pitcher on the mound for the Golden Wolves. He's a good one, Nick Ferrioli, 2.86 earned run average. This will be start number 14. He is undefeated on the season at 7-0. If he gets through this inning, it'll be 70 on the season. And there's another ground ball and a good start so far for Nick Ferrioli. He has struck out 57, walked 25, batters hitting just 267 off Ferrioli. Here we go, the rest of the defense. At first base, you've got Matt Edwards. At second base, it's Mike Ramundo. Can't wait to tell you more about his outstanding offensive season. Hansen's at short. You've got Ben Houghton at third. In the outfield, left to right, Jake Chapman, Quincy Asanason, and then Quincy Asanason's in right field. I beg your pardon. It's Logan Nelson in center. The catcher is Garrett Hunter. Alvernia coached by Yogi Lutz. They are the MAC Commonwealth champs. Here's a ball up the middle. Kind of handcuffed the shortstop a bit. Low throw, but a good scoop by Matt Edwards. All right, a little highlight reel stuff early here for Alvernia. We're already underway. 3 quick outs for Ferrioli. And we'll see the Golden Wolves come to bat in the bottom of the first inning here. It's an elimination game at Nobby's Ballpark, Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland. All right, breakfast in baseball is off to a fast start. Maybe it's a breakfast buffet. We'll get a little bit of everything. We need to make some ham and eggs references and sizzling bacon and some of those kinds of things. We'll find a way to work them in there. It was a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Alvernia Wolves as they set the Bombers down in order. A couple fine defensive plays by the shortstop, Bobby Hansen, continuing a theme from yesterday where he was outstanding on this turf. A reminder, it is a turf infield here at Case Western. The outfield is natural grass. 400 in center field, 320 down the lines, and 370 in the power alleys. Although I'm told that right center field gap is slightly deeper and hard to hit a ball out to right center where the scoreboard is here at Nobby's Ballpark. I wonder with the little mist and the sort of dampness in the air if the ball flies as well, but who knows. Starting pitcher for Ithaca will be Jack Picozzi. He's got a good record on the year, 4-1, 4.07 earned run average. This will be start 10, appearance number 13 total. He's missed the zone as for his first two pitches to Jake Chapman. The lineup for Alvernia: Chapman, the left fielder, leading off. Asanason playing right, batting third. Mike Ramundo, over 400 on the season and then some in the 3-hole. For Alvernia, Jason Kelly's the DH. Matt Edwards batting fifth. Ben Houghton is hitting sixth and playing third base. Bobby Hansen is the shortstop, hitting seventh. Garrett Hunter, the catcher, batting eighth. Logan Nelson in center field, rounding out the order. It's a 4-pitch walk to start for Jake Chapman. He's aboard, our first base runner of the game. Pitcher for Ithaca, again, is Jack Picozzi. His battery mate will be Tyler Puglisi. At first base, you've got Camden Laney. Second baseman today is Ethan Rothstein. Shortstop, Riley Braudy. Third baseman is Ryan Laubscher. For Ithaca, in the outfield, left to right, Louis Fabo, Colin Feeney, and Colin Shishadi. All right, runner on early here. Some early pressure for Ithaca to work under. Ooh, that one was inside. Yeah, 5 straight balls for Jack Picozzi. Not exactly what he would have wanted. And sometimes in these elimination games, you know, the broadcaster, you want to say, oh, well, it's the pressure of the moment. Not necessarily always the case. You can't always do cause and effect. Sometimes guys just get off to a slow start. It might not be the pressure of the moment or the early start time. I think sometimes the broadcasters make a lot of an early game like this just because I'll say usually the broadcaster is an adult and we're fully addicted to coffee and caffeine. So it's we can't fathom, oh, you're going to get out there and play a baseball game at 8:30. The guys got to the ballpark around 7. But for these young kids, 18 to 22-year-olds, probably not as big of a deal as we make it playing at 8:30. Are you going to be at your 100% best? Maybe not. And then another thing to note about the early start time is in the world of travel baseball and weekend tournaments, this is not uncommon at all to be playing at 8:30. It was a buddy of mine that is in his mid-20s now was talking about some of those travel tournaments where they were actually starting games at 7 p.m. and you had to be at the ballpark at 6. And that can be a little tough to shake the cobwebs out at times. But I don't know that you can read too much into the 8:30 start time for this one. But we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on it. It's now a full count as Picozzi has worked himself back into the at-bat. Ooh, and a called strike 3. Asanason got a little check swing there. I think, you know, when the pitcher has missed the zone so many times, when he all of a sudden throws one in the outer black like that, it can be tough to pull the trigger. But it's out number 1 as Quincy Asanason is down with a check swing. And here comes Mike Ramundo. Came into the tournament hitting .448. He has started every game for the Golden Wolves this year. It's 77 hits, 22 doubles in there, 1 homer, 6 triples, slugging over .660. He's actually got more strikeouts than walks, which for a guy like that, you might think as the year goes on, he starts getting more free passes and teams pitch around him, those sorts of things. Any way you slice it, though, any numbers you look at, this is a quality hitter, a dangerous hitter. Oh, up and in, tried to argue that it maybe nipped the jersey or the elbow guard there, but the umpire does not agree. We're in the bottom of the first inning here between Ithaca and Alvernia. 4-pitch walk for Jake Chapman. He leads off at first. There's a 2-seamer that chases in, and it's called strike 1. Ramundo on the season is just got a cavalcade of awards as far as the MAC Commonwealth stuff goes. And I think he'll be in the running for even some awards later on. Wow. Well, Raimondo thought one ball grazed him. There was no doubt about that one. That was a plunk on the left shoulder. And Raimondo will trot down to first.
Number 88, Jason Kelly.
So Picozzi has walked one and hit one. That's sandwiched around a strikeout. If you're Yogi Lutz, you do know your season is on the line here. He's the Alvernia Golden Wolves head coach. You like getting a few base runners on early. If you're David Valencenti, the head coach for Ithaca, maybe a little cause for concern. No coach ever wants to press a panic button. That's just not what you do as a baseball manager. But as you know, baseball fans, in the playoffs and in an elimination game, you may have a shorter leash with the starting pitcher. You may go to the bullpen a little bit earlier. That's the toughest decision, I think, for a coach. Wow, that one nearly hit Jason Kelly. So Picozzi, you have to say, is really struggling to find the zone at times. He does have the strikeout, and this is a 1-1 count here to Jason Kelly. But early indications are that Picozzi struggling with command slightly. First baseman played behind the runner at first. There are runners on first and second for the Golden Wolves. Good sharp breaking ball there that starts at Kelly's front shoulder and then crosses the inner portion of the plate. It's a 1-2 count. Maybe that's the answer for Picozzi. Sometimes a pitcher can't get the fastball over. Go to something else. Go to the second and third pitches. Maybe there's a little more feel with that. Picozzi checks the runner. Long look. Now he'll turn and deal. Oh, that was just south of the zone, but a good pitch. So as soon as I said Picozzi was struggling with command, he seems to be finding it right on cue. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. There is 1 out. Double play depth in the infield, outfield straight away, medium deep for the Bombers. Picozzi, breaking ball again. Kelly, good metal on this. He'll chase the center fielder back, but in catching distance for Colin Feeney. He'll make the grab and then fling it into the relay man. And there's 2 outs.
First baseman, number 3, Matt Edwards.
If Picozzi can get out of the inning unblemished, unscathed, we'll say that he pitched around a walk and a hit by pitch and some shaky pitch location. As Jason Kelly walks to the dugout, he shares some information with the on-deck hitter, Ben Houghton. And now it'll be Matt Edwards, the first baseman, stepping in. Edwards hits .308 on the season. He's the home run leader on the squad with 7 round trippers. Good start there for Picozzi. Outer third, lively fastball, thigh high, and it's an 0-1 count. I'd say the infield's back deeper, but basically in the same position they were in when it was a double play situation. This ball's ripped into the right center gap and down from Matt Edwards. That's going to score 1 Golden Wolf, although the runner slipped. Jake Chapman was able to get up and scramble in time. It's all the way to the fence, and Raimondo's going to come in as well. It's a 2-run double for Matt Edwards. Really a good piece of hitting to stay on that ball and pump it into the right center gap. It's real grass in the outfield that plays a little bit slow. It's a little bit longer, and I thought it was maybe going to slow it down, but that ball was just hit too good. It went all the way to the fence. And here we go. Alvernia on top with a 2 spot in the bottom of the first, and they'll be looking for more with Ben Houghton. 301 on the season, 5 homers, 2 triples, 3 doubles. He's driven in 28-0-1 count to start. So now you have to say that Picozzi did not pitch around the walk and the hit by pitch. He's only given up 1 base hit, but 2 runs have come in. There's that sharp breaking ball, starts at the front shoulder. You're hoping it comes back into the inner part of the plate. That one did not. It's got good action on it. 1-1 count with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Alvernia has struck first in their 15th NCAA appearance all time. There's the breaking ball. That one started middle of the plate, but then bottomed out too soon. Bobby Hansen, the shortstop, is on deck. Alvernia 28-17 on the season. Picozzi's got the sign. Now he's ready. The 2-1. Swung on and fouled out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3-4-5 due up for Ithaca in their half of the second. It's a great start for Alvernia. This is exactly the start they were probably talking about in the hotel lobby, getting ready to take the short bus ride over. Got a Bomber player who is running along the warning track, and he is going to go to that gate out there, I think, in left center field. I don't think he's just getting the calisthenics in. It's not the morning workout here. He's might be headed to the bullpen or back to the bus. Who knows? But either way, a slight delay to let an Ithaca Bomber reserve make his way across the warning track and then out of play. With the 2-2s coming right here. Runner at second is Edwards. Here's the pitch. Another foul ball. Yeah, the visitors' bullpen probably worth pointing out. Probably should have pointed it out already. The visitors' bullpen here at Nobby's Ballpark is out there beyond center field. And the home team bullpen is just outside the third base dugout. There's an inside breaking ball that misses, full count. Ithaca is in the visitors' dugout. They are the visitors in this ball game. That's on the first base side. And that bullpen is out there in the outfield. So the Bombers probably had a few guys out there just already to start the game, and maybe a message was being relayed by that player. Here comes a full count delivery. This ball is going to stay in play. This ball might be down. Scratch that. It is a foul ball. Good hard chase there by Camden Laney, the first baseman. But that ball dropped just beyond his outstretched glove. Good sportsmanship there by the catcher, Tyler Puglisi, to pick the bat up, stand it up on the end there, and now it's waiting for Ben Hutton as he gets back in. Good long at bat here in a long first inning, a long bottom of the first anyway. Ithaca went down in order 1, 2, 3. Alvernia has not done that. They lead 2-0. Looking for more here. Full count, swing and a miss. So it will just be a 2-run first inning, but success early for the Golden Wolves. They are on top. 2 runs on 1 hit, 1 left stranded. No Ithaca errors. And we've got 1 under our belts here in an elimination game. It's game 3 of the tournament. Alvernia leads Ithaca 2-0.
Game day of the D3 way.
The first baseman, Camden Laney, will lead off for the Ithaca Bombers. Laney came into the tournament hitting .340 on the season. Ithaca had a tough day offensively yesterday against West Arrington, the outstanding pitcher for the Lynchburg Hornets, the reigning national champions. Ithaca mustered up 3 hits. Louis Fabo had 2 of them. Colin Shishadi had the other. Arrington did walk 4, so Ithaca got some runners on that way, had a runner reach on an error as well. But overall, it was a tough day offensively for the Ithaca Bombers. Their starting pitcher, Colin Lehner, he went 9 complete, really kept the Bombers right in the fight the entire time. Even when Lynchburg took the lead, it was just a 2-1 lead after 7, and Ithaca, had some real chances in there. They did. Lynchburg turned a timely double play late in the game. Lehner, his line yesterday, 9 innings pitched. He gave up 5 hits, surrendered 3 earned runs, struck out 5, walked 2. Laney juices one to right field, but it's right at the Quincy Asanason. And that's an out. First error out of the game for Ithaca. They went down in order in the first inning with 3 ground ball outs. But yeah, I thought Lehner was outstanding all day yesterday. I think you'd have to call him a hard luck loser in that one. Lehner will move to 7-3 on the season. That was a game that was 2 hours and 15 minutes because of the great pitching in that one. And it actually felt like we flew through the first 5 or 6 innings in about 60 minutes. There was a bit more activity later on in the game. But a fun one to watch. The home team, Case Western Reserve, they had fun yesterday beating Alvernia. Off to a good start. Always high hopes as the host team. You love playing on your home field. Sometimes there is an extra weight or an extra pressure that comes with that. And there can be teams that do play better on the road, surprisingly enough. I don't know if I have any data or stats to quantify that. But, you're smart baseball fans. You've been around. We appreciate all the Ithaca fans and Alvernia fans watching, and maybe just some baseball fans tuning in to check it out. McDonough takes a breaking ball for strike 2. It's a 2-2 count. It's a fast start for Nick Ferrioli, and his fast start will continue. There's his first strikeout. Froze McDonough. Couldn't get the bat off the shoulder there on the 2-2 delivery, and there's 2 quick outs in the second inning. It's a 2-0 lead. Ryan Lobsher was not in the starting lineup yesterday. Ithaca did go to some reinforcements. The catcher Tyler Puglisi got on. It was lifted for a pinch runner. And then Ethan Dadabo had one at bat for Ithaca. 1-0 start as Ferrioli has missed the zone to Lobsher. So some stats on Lobsher. There's a check swing on a high heater. Don't know that Ferrioli loved the pitch, but he got away with it for a strike. Lobsher, 349 on the season. This will be start number 22. So a good body of work, even though he has not played every game. Pretty good sample size there. And I think it's nice when you have an option like this you can go to if you are the Ithaca Bombers. Lobsher slugging .512 on the season. He's on base at .424. It's an Ithaca team that really has a well-rounded offensive package. Alvernia is the same way. Alvernia hits .303 as a squad. Power numbers are pretty good for both teams. And I think it's what you expect at this stage. You don't find many soft teams. You don't find many teams that don't stand out in some way in the stats. Here's a 2-2 with 2 outs. That's just outside the zone, and now the count is full. But just finishing the thought here is we may be out of the inning. You just don't find many teams that aren't going to have something on their stat sheet that stands out, whether it's a team stat, an individual player or two. Pitching, hitting, defense is all usually well-rounded. If you don't have solid marks in all 3 areas, the team will have great marks in one area. If you're a team that gives up a lot of run, well, if you've made it to this stage, you bash in a lot of runs as well. If you're a team, your offense maybe is a little light, then you've got great pitching, and that's gotten you to this point. And all these teams have I think, cause to think they can still win the tournament, even these 2 squads right here. This ball's flared down the right field line. Might be in catching distance. Long run there for first, right, and second base, and it will drop in on the grass. Saw a ball like that in the bottom of the first inning. And there is pretty expansive foul ground here at Nobby's ballpark, especially down that first baseline. Down the third baseline, it is pretty wide until you get to the outfield grass. Then the fence line kind of juts in because that's where the batting cages are here for Case Western Reserve down that third base and left field line. All right, another full count delivery here. Long at bat. The pitch, Ferrioli. This one's going to stay in play and should be caught in center field. No, it'll be the left fielder, Jake Chapman, that actually makes the catch, but it is an out nonetheless. Another 3 up, 3 down inning. 6 set down in order by Nick Ferrioli, and his ball club leads 2-0 after 1.5 here. Elimination Saturday at Nobby's Ballpark in Cleveland. Bottom of the second underway. So we have some fun inter-inning banner here in the press box. I said the vibes were immaculate yesterday. I think they're going to be today. It's still early, though. Everybody's still trying to wake up. Not even 9 o'clock yet. It's a breaking ball from Jack Picozzi. Surrendered 2 runs in the first inning. It is a 2-0 Golden Wolves advantage at the moment. This one off the tape there from Bobby Hansen, the shortstop. Made some delightful plays in the first inning. He made some good ones yesterday. And back to the quality of these teams, kind of an extension of the conversation from the last half inning. These teams are all going to be able to glove it. You're going to have guys that make the routine plays, going to have a few highlight reel plays in there as well when given the opportunity. That turf infield really helps too. I think you talk to most college guys and they'll tell you they love playing on the turf. It can be a slight adjustment. Ball can get on you a little quicker and skid and do some different things that may not happen on grass and dirt. Here's ground ball left side. Houghton will field, straighten up, and throw across. Excuse me, that's Ryan Laubscher. And the out is made. Bobby Hansen retired 5-3. Here's the catcher, Garrett Hunter. The fans are into it early. It's not too early for the fans. Alvernia, during the pregame introductions, their fans were making a lot of noise. Ithaca Bombers have traveled well. We know we got a lot of folks watching. The reserves for Alvernia are in the stands, just sort of to the left of home plate. They're making some noise. The NCAA cuts down your roster size, 0-2 count on Garrett Hunter. You get in the NCAA regional and beyond, and the NCAA cuts down the roster size, so a lot of times you can't get everybody in uniform. You still want those guys to be a part of the experience, and definitely nice to have that support, even if it's from beyond the field. Here's one tap to the right side. Picozzi will hustle over and cover. Good defensive play right there for out number 2. It will bring up the center fielder, Logan Nelson. Nelson's hitting .318 on the season. This will be start number 42 for him in game number 42 or 43. We'll double check all the stats. There's so many of them at this point. Back to the stats. It's baseball's that game where there can be almost too many stats. You got the season and the career numbers, and then you can start looking at postseason numbers. You can look at what a guy's done in the last 5 or the last 10. You can look at the splits, the left on right, and all those sorts of fun things. 1-1 delivery on the way. This ball slashed down the right field line, and it's a fair ball. It's a fair ball. Turn and burn time for Logan Nelson as he'll wheel around first base into second with a stand-up double. Second hit of the game for Alvernia. Second double for the Alvernia Golden Wolves. And a man in scoring position again. It's Jake Chapman. Leadoff hitter is back up. Took a 4-pitch walk in his first at-bat. It was a 29-pitch first inning for Jack Picozzi. And so that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be ineffective the rest of the game. But it is, again, for the coaching staff, a slight cause for concern. Might limit your ability to go deep into the game. Chapman likes the first and fouls it away to the left side. 0-1 count. Quincy Asanason is on deck. Ithaca's got 7, 8, 9 due up in their half of the third inning. This is the bottom of the second. Breaking ball. That was the old backdoor breaking ball variety. To the right-handers, Picozzi's starting it at their front shoulder and breaking it over the inside part of the plate. So to the lefties, it's actually going to the same part of the plate, but it's the outside corner for a left-handed hitter. 1-1, Picozzi checks the runner. That one's high and tight for ball 2. I think that little mist has subsided. It's just overcast skies right now at Nobby's ballpark. We're in the low 60s to start. It should be a really nice day to play here in Northeast Ohio. We're not quite on the banks of Lake Erie, but we're close enough to feel the Great Lakes vibe. 2-2 to Jake Chapman. Just .235 on the season for Jake Chapman. Got one of the lower batting averages in this Alvernia lineup. He's at the top of the order for a reason. Coaching staff clearly has some belief in this guy and what he can do. This is start number 34 for Jake Chapman. So he has not played in every game. He's not started every game. But again, he's at the top of the lineup for a reason. He's been on once. 4-pitch walk, having to work significantly harder this at bat to get on. Hits from the crouch, hands up high, flat bat. He'll have to wait another pickoff attempt. Oh, a little minor collision there at second base. Nothing to be alarmed about. No malice or ill intent. It was just the shortstop, Riley Braudy, that had to kind of scamper over the runner to get that ball and then sort of aided the runner, Logan Nelson, in going down to the turf. But everybody's fine. And we're going to get a 2-2 pitch here in just a moment. Maybe, unless we have another pickoff attempt. Picozzi will deal. Oh, that's inside, and that hit Jake Chapman. Second batter that Picozzi has bopped. And it's more things that Ithaca will not like.
Number 5, Quincy Asanason.
We do think that that little stoppage for the Ithaca player running along the warning track was a bullpen message being delivered to some players who are already out there. You'll have your first and maybe second options already out in the bullpen, especially if it's far away at a place like Case Western Reserve. So I have a feeling those options will be ready, especially with 2 on. Swing and a miss from Quincy Asanason. Good pitch right there. I still think Picozzi's got good stuff. I mean, the ball's got movement. You can see that. I don't know what kind of screen you're watching the game on. If you're watching on a cell phone, you may not be able to tell, but it's got good life. Just the location. There's one that missed inside. And as an outside observer, it's hard to know if Picozzi was trying to go inside and just kind of held on to that one, just pulled that pitch slightly, or if it was a bigger miss. Maybe he meant to go outside corner again. Looks like a middle target from the catcher, Puglisi. And Picozzi hits the target. Bullseye on that one. Picozzi hasn't been terrible by any stretch of the imagination. Just 2 hit batters and a walk. He's fallen behind some other hitters and surrendered 2 doubles. Runners on first and second for Alvernia. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball. Oh, see, that was nice. Give Asanason some credit for taking that. That was a breaking ball that started just above the knee and then dove to the catcher's mitt. Deuce is wild here. We're in the bottom of the second. It's a 2-2 count, 2 outs, and Alvernia leads 2-0. A check of the runner. Now it's a full count. Runners will be on the move here with 2 outs. Bombers infield will have to throw across to first base on anything but the hardest batted ball. Asanason, left-handed hitter, he's ready. That back foot is just barely touching the inside part of the batter's box. Here comes the full count delivery. Asanason will foul it off towards the batting cage area here at Case Western Reserve. And another full count pitch will be forthcoming. Crowd urging Quincy Asanason on. He's the right fielder. He hits .250 on the season so far. Check swing, close, but no cigar for Picozzi. That's walk number 2. Nice at bat for Asanason. He laid off what I thought was a nasty breaking ball down in the zone, fouled off a full count pitch, and then took a close one for ball 4. So that's one as a hitter. You know, it does not feel as good as a base hit. I won't argue that, but I think that's got to feel really good. It's a really good piece of hitting there. Plate discipline, strike zone awareness from Quincy Asanason. That was outstanding. Mound visit right here. And we'll see if this is just a visit or if this is a precursor to a pitching change for the Ithaca Bombers. We'll get that check on Picozzi's pitch count here in just a bit, but it was 29 in the first. 54 pitches. But he's staying in. 28 of those are strikes. And fans, I would encourage you to follow along with the live stats. I think that's a great way to watch a baseball game. The crew here at Case Western doing outstanding things, keeping that updated. And if you are into the stats and the numbers and that stuff, it really is a great way to watch a game. And sometimes as a broadcaster, maybe you should give less stats in the modern age because fans can just go get them if they want them. All right, big spot right here. And that's an interesting move. You're leaving Picozzi in to face the uber-talented Raimundo. Mike Raimundo, the second baseman. 0 for 0, got hit by a pitch. Raimundo's over 440 on the season. There's a good location to even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And again, I don't know how much you can tell on your screen, but Mike Raimundo is a solid guy. He's got the tree trunk legs. He's got a muscular frame, well-rounded shoulders. He's spent some time in the weight room. You can tell that. Some of that is genetics, but some of that is hard work. And Raimundo has had the hard work pay off this season and then some. Bases are loaded. 2-1 count, 2 outs. Another nice location from Picozzi. Boy, he's missed the zone, but he's made some really good pitches as well. That's almost an unplayable delivery right there. Outer black at the knee. Here we go, 2-2 to Raimundo. It's the deuces wild again. 2 outs, bases are loaded. The pitch. Oh, same location, but just missed. Just off the plate slightly. Good hold there from Raimundo. And it will be runners on the move here with a full count and 2 outs. The bases are full of Golden Wolves. Let's see what Raimundo can do. Picozzi's out of the windup. Here it comes. Oh, man, he went back to that spot again and just barely missed. Picozzi, was down the slope, headed to the dugout. He thought that was strike 3. What an at-bat by Mike Raimundo. Back-to-back really quality walks right there from the Golden Wolves.
Jason Kelly.
I just think that is worth talking about again. That takes some severe plate discipline. Mike Raimundo's a guy hitting over 440. You know he wants to swing the bat. Sort of lay off those last 2 that were, maybe half a ball outside the one that was the called strike 2. That's incredible. That's blowing me away. Here's Jason Kelly. He's got bases loaded. Oh, by the way, that's an RBI walk for Raimundo, and the lead is now 3-0 for the Golden Wolves. Jason Kelly hitting with the sacks packed here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Already a 3-0 ball game for Alvernia. Jason Kelly could blow the door right off the hinges here. He's going to try. Laces one in the left field. 1 runner will come in. Asanason's going to get the green light. Play at the plate. Good throw, and they got him there. Nice job. What a throw by the left fielder, Louis Fabo. Asanason staying down for just a second. Oh, we've got interference on the third baseman. You can hear the home plate umpire's call. Interference on the third baseman. Asanason got a little dinged up on the play at the plate. So let's try to unpack this one for you fans. That's a base hit and now 2 RBI for Jason Kelly. It's now a 5-0 lead. And Ithaca is going to have to come back on the field. They thought they had a 7-2 put out. Louis Fabo with a really good throw into home. Tyler Puglisi, a nice catch and tag. The field umpire, it is a 3-man crew, field umpire ruled interference on the third baseman. So the infielders, if they're not making a play on the ball, fans, have to give the runners room to run. If an infielder's making the play on the ball, it's the reverse. The runner has to get out of his way. So that can be confusing. But if you're not making a play, you have to give the runner room to run. And remember, the runner sets his own base path. So he's not exactly running a straight line from second to third and then third to home. Sometimes as a third baseman, you can get caught being a spectator or just get caught going to where you're supposed to be. And if you make some contact there, then the umpires can rule interference. And that's exactly the call. And now Picozzi has to go back out for more. 3 hits in the game, by the way. Now, after Jason Kelly's most recent one, and that was a good piece of hitting. Here's one shot up the middle. Diving play by Brody, and that will limit the damage. Excellent stuff out there. I said you were going to see some glove work, didn't I? Good play there at the end, but it's another great inning for Alvernia. They put 3 on the board, and the Golden Wolves lead 5-0 after 2 complete.
33.
All right, for the Golden Wolves in the bottom of the second, 3 runs on 2 hits. There were 2 walks and a hit by pitch in there, and for me, that's been, again, the problem with Picozzi. Not so much the hits. We know Alvernia can swing it. They're going to get some base hits, but for Picozzi, he's just missed the zone a few too many times. Now, with that being said, there was some close pitches in there that Asanason and Raimondo laid off of. But another successful inning for the Golden Wolves. They scored 2 in the first, 3 in the second, and this is an ideal start for Alvernia. Their pitcher, Nick Ferrioli, will have some wind in his sails. He's already pitching well. He's faced the minimum through the first 2 innings. And I use that phrasing specifically just to not anger some baseball fans out there. It's 3 groundouts, 2 flyouts, and a strikeout. This might be the first hit of the game right there. Flared into right field by Tyler Puglisi. So the no-hitter is done. You can use the phrase now. Puglisi is on to begin the top of the third. That's good news for the Bombers. Right now, you're just looking for something positive, something to get going. And remember, Ithaca only 3 hits yesterday. I give full credit to Lynchburg starting pitcher Wesley Arrington for that. I don't think it's an indictment on the Ithaca offense by any means. But when you haven't seen the ball hit the green grass, when you haven't had a lot of base hits, it can start to hit the confidence a bit. You know you're going to be facing quality arms at this stage of the season. You know you're going to get each team's best. The rotation probably a little bit shorter. You're only going to get the elite bullpen guys. But still, the confidence can take a dip when you haven't had a lot of hits in the last 24 hours. 2-0 count as Ferrioli has missed the zone for the first time so far today. Not for the first time, but really, I don't think he'd fallen behind any hitters up to that point. Runner at first is the catcher, Puglisi. Oh, this ball's hit well to left field. Ethan Rothstein. It'll stay in the ballpark, very high and catchable for Jake Chapman. There's the first out of the third inning.
Shortstop, number 7, Riley.
Looked like Rothstein just missed that one. We'll bring up the shortstop, Riley Brody. Made a good play at the end of the inning to stop the bleeding for the Bombers. Don't discount that. If Ithaca gets back in this game, that's a play you can look back at and sort of file away as could be a key game-changing kind of play even. You just don't think a play can be game-changing when you're down 5-0, but in the game of baseball, you never know. Things can come around, and all of a sudden, that play looks like it was pretty great. 0-1 count here for Riley Brody. Hits .216 on the season. We've already seen his value as a defender. 1-1 count for the 9-hole hitter from the Ithaca Bombers. 31-10 on the season. They were 7-1 at home, 9-1 away. Back to some teams maybe play a little better on the road, although you can't knock the home record at all for Ithaca. 15-7 in neutral site games. This one, kind of a weird spin to the left side. Alvernia gets 1. They will not get Brody at first as he was hustling down the line. Good job to get the first one over there by Ben Houghton.
Colin Shashati.
And this is the leadoff man, Colin Shashati. Grounded out to the shortstop in his first at-bat. Did have 1 hit yesterday. 1 of 3 for the Bombers. Louis Fabo had 2. He's in the hole right now with Colin Feeney waiting on deck. There is 2 outs in the top of the third inning. Close pitch from Ferrioli. It's a 1-0 count. Ferrioli set, lefty, looks at the runner, now the plate, back to the runner. And he will throw over to first. Left-hander doesn't completely shut down the running game for Ithaca. They're a team that does not run a ton, although they did have 2 stolen bases yesterday. Those were both from Colin Feeney. Should get them up to 61 on the season. Percentage is pretty good for Ithaca as far as the running game is concerned. I believe they're now 61 of 72 in the stolen base department. 85%. Did have a runner get picked off yesterday, Ithaca. That was the pinch runner home plate umpire is going to call time. And a little short conversation with the pitcher, Ferrioli. We'll get a 1-0 delivery here in just a moment, eventually, as Ferrioli throws over again. Here it comes. Strike one. Yeah, so Ithaca, 61 stolen bases, just over 84% or so. And the success rate, Alvernia has stolen 58. The 1-1, runner will take off. Oh, classic hit and run. Swung on to center field. Catch is made there. Looked like Shishadi squared it up, hit it on the nose, but a good grab in center by Logan Nelson will bring an end to the top of the third inning. Alvernia holds on to their advantage. No hitter gone, but Nick Ferrioli cruising through 2.5 here at Nobby's Ballpark in Cleveland, Ohio. Pitching change for the Ithaca Bombers. It will be number 16, John Griffin, in the ball game. Griffin is one of those premier bullpen options that we said teams would be thinking about going to, and he's in the game here in the bottom of the third inning. John Griffin on the season, undefeated at 5-0. He's got 2 saves in there as well. 1 start, but this will be relief appearance number 16 of the season for Griffin. 2.80 earned run average. Batters hitting just a measly 236 against this guy. He's given up only 1 home run this season. That's in 35 innings and change. He has over 36. He has 36 strikeouts in 35 and 1/3 innings. So the K per 9 is over 9 for John Griffin. Griffin is on to try to keep the game in order and keep the Alvernia Golden Wolves in check. Right now, Alvernia, 5 runs on 3 hits. The Golden Wolves have left 3 runners on base, one of those in scoring position. It's 1 hit for Ithaca, no runs. They've left 1 runner on and in scoring position. There's a foul ball to begin the bottom of the third inning. So Griffin is on, and back to he's one of the key bullpen guys. Connor Burns has 5 saves for Ithaca, but just again, those numbers tell you that Griffin is one of their studs, and we'll see how long he can carry the ball. We'll see how many innings he can give Ithaca. Other options available, of course. The Bombers only used 1 pitcher yesterday, so the bullpen should be in good shape. 1-1 count. John Griffin is a 6-foot senior from Connecticut. This ball pushed into left field. Fabo's got to play. He'll make the catch. And there's 1 out. This will bring up the shortstop, Bobby Hansen. Hansen grounded out to the third baseman in his first at bat. Bobby Hansen on the season has a .263 batting average. This will be start number 30 for Hansen. So he's a guy that has not quite played every game, but pretty close. And when you see this guy play shortstop, you understand why Bobby Hansen's out there. Riley Brody, some great shortstop play for Ithaca. 0-1 count in the bottom of the third. Sharp breaking ball from John Griffin. That looked good. And it's an 0-2 count. Hansen played 42 games as a first year last year for Alvernia. And he started 15 of those, so basically working himself into the starting lineup as a freshman. He's continued that. Yesterday it was a hitless day for Bobby Hansen against Case Western Reserve. Here's the 1-2 from John Griffin. Longer hold. Now he'll pitch from the three-quarter arm slot delivery. This ball lifted into shallow left field. Fabo and the shortstop Brody seem to be having an ongoing conversation as the ball was on the way down, but Brody ends up making the catch. And there's 2 outs now in the bottom of the third inning. So the Golden Wolves put up 5 runs in the first 2 innings, but John Griffin seems to be off to a good start here. 2 outs, facing catcher Garrett Hunter. Garrett Hunter is a Virginia guy, Virginia Beach native. Garrett Hunter, a senior. Garrett Hunter, a 1-for-3 day yesterday in Alvernia's opening matchup against Case Western Reserve, the Spartans. Spartans and Hornets later on, scheduled for noon. Don't see why we wouldn't make that the way we got off to the quick start. Interesting that it has been a quick start. Alvernia scoring those 5 runs, but everybody's flying around. The umpires are encouraging the guys to hustle on and off the field. And breakfast in baseball has been a success so far. 2-1 coming up from John Griffin. The pitch. That one shot up the middle from the catcher Garrett Hunter. So 2 hits in 2 games for the backstop from Alvernia. That is hit number 4 total for Alvernia. No players with multiple hits yet. Kelly singled, Edwards doubled in the first inning, Logan Nelson doubled in the second inning, and then a single here from Garrett Hunter. He's on first with 2 outs. The 0-0 from Griffin. This ball swung on and ripped. Yeah, that one was tagged a little bit. Back-to-back base hits. Logan Nelson now becomes the first player with multiple base knocks. A double and now a laser beam single up the middle from Logan Nelson. That's good stuff. The hitting approach for Alvernia is sound. That's probably worth talking about a little bit more. Here comes Jake Chapman. Chapman's the one I said bringing the 235 average into the game today. Jake Chapman, a first-year man from Collegeville, Pennsylvania. Left-handed hitter. He'll hit from that crouch with the long white pants. Alvernia is in, we got a balk. We have a balk now on the pitcher, John Griffin. We've seen some things already in this game. We're only in the bottom of the third. We've seen an interference or obstruction call on the third baseman that caused a run to be scored. Looked like it was going to be an out at home plate. Good strong throw from the left fielder, Louis Fabo. That was erased because of that weird little play. We've seen a balk. Each game provides something unique, and this is, I think, not just an appetizer for the other 3 games. I think this game on its own is really going to provide a lot for folks to like. The loser of this game, unfortunately, will see their season come to an end. Jake Chapman will foul this one away. Winner of this ball game has some momentum. I've sometimes argued that you win this game, you have a really, really good shot to turn around and win the game later on today because you'll be playing a team that's coming off a loss. Remember the bracket setup. The winner of this game will get the loser of Case Western and Lynchburg. So you will have some momentum if you win this game. Lynchburg or Case Western, whoever loses, will be coming off of a loss. And sometimes that can be hard to just turn around and play right after that. So I don't know. I hate to say you never want to lose intentionally, but if you've got to lose in a tournament like this, maybe losing on the first day is the way to go. Here's the 1-2 from Griffin. Pulled down the right side. Nice grab there at first base by Camden Laney. He'll step on the bag himself, and the threat is over. So the Golden Wolves do get back-to-back base hits, but they leave 2 stranded. Alvernia still on top, 5-0 after 3 complete. Elimination Saturday morning baseball here at Nobby's Ballpark. We're bringing it to you on the Case Western Reserve Athletics website. The center fielder Colin Feeney is leading off the top of the 4th inning for the Ithaca Bombers. Down but not out. It's fun observing the dugout and just the mannerisms and the demeanor of a team in an elimination game. Maybe any time in baseball, but specifically in these elimination games, because it's interesting to see if a team does have an air of desperation, or if the guys are all still loose and calm and cool and collected. I just think that's one of the fun things about our game. And you can do that a little bit more in the game of baseball. You're a little bit closer than you would be maybe in football. You can look in that dugout. You got the time in between innings to check some people out. Some other sports, you might miss the action if you spend too much time looking at the bench. But in baseball, you can really do that. And I think it's one of the fun elements. Nick Ferrioli last pitched on May 12th against Messiah. And Alvernia did beat Messiah in the MAC Commonwealth Championship game. Golden Wolves were the 2 seed. Messiah was the 1. So file that under the slight upset category. There's a strikeout for Ferrioli. Second of the game for him. He has walked none. He's given up 1 base hit. But Ferrioli, in that game, went 3 2/3. Gave up 8 hits there, 4 earned runs, walked 6, and struck out 2. So he seems to have made a big stride from that one. He's got some really good numbers this season. Nick Ferrioli, 2.86 earned run average. He is undefeated at 7-0. This is start number 14. Made no starts last year, but 10 appearances. ERA was a little elevated in his first season at 8.31. Just 8 innings. Just north of 8 innings last year, so not a big sample size to judge the guy on, but Ferrioli this year, the sample and the data looks really good. Really nice to be able to send a strong left-hander out there. You know the value of that in the game of baseball. Lefty pitchers always a prized commodity. And I would say Nick Ferrioli falls right in that. 0-2 delivery on the way here to Louis Fabo. Speaking of commodities, Louis Fabo, 225 hits in his career. And that's just a 4-year career. I know you got some of those massive hit totals from guys that played 5 and 6 seasons, taking nothing away from that. But Fabo did all his work in just 4 seasons, 225. It was over 70 base knocks last year. Had 2 hits yesterday for Ithaca, 2 of their 3. He's got a 2-2 count right now. The pitch from Ferrioli. Fabo's got another one, 226. Just spinning on an inside pitch, shooting it right over the shortstop's head. That is a classic swing right there.
First baseman, number 36.
All right, Fabo's got 3.
Brandon Laney.
3 in the trip here to the NCAA Regional. Fabo seems to like hitting at Nobby's Ballpark. I think he likes hitting at every ballpark if you look at the career stats. Fabo's on first with 1 out. Second hit of the ball game for Ithaca. This one sprayed left side. Here we go, back-to-back singles. Bombers might be getting it together here in the top of the fourth inning. Camden Laney with not his highest exit velocity hit of his career, but he'll take it. And really a good piece of hitting to go with that outside pitch. I said Fabo spun on the inside pitch and pulled it. Laney really stayed on the outside pitch and pounded it through the hole nicely. Bombers might be starting to figure out Ferrioli just a bit. We'll see how the lefty can minimize and stabilize. Here's the tall and lanky Ethan McDonough, DH for Ithaca. Hitting with runners on first and second. First time the Bombers have had multiple runners on in this game. They did not have multiple runners on much yesterday against Lynchburg. Ethan McDonough, start number 21. He's hitting .354 on the season. He's driven in 17, 2 home runs, 8 doubles. Throw a triple in there for this talented designated hitter for Ithaca. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. Pulled down the third base line, and it's through. And it's through. 1 run will score. Fabo's going to cruise home. Stop sign up at third base. McDonough will cruise in with a double. Looks like it's going to be a base hit. An RBI double for Ethan McDonough. 3 straight hits now for Ithaca. Third baseman Ben Houghton was in the zip code, went to backhand that ball, and I don't know if it was the footwork or maybe the hop on the turf that befuddled him slightly, but it just a little stumble in there, and as he went to put the glove down, the ball just kind of snuck right under. Some debate up here in the press box as to whether it was a hit or not, but they're going to rule that a base hit, a double. First extra base hit for Ithaca. And the threat is real now with runners on second and third. Bombers have a great chance to get right back in this thing. Ryan Lobsher, he hits .349 on the season. 3 homers, 5 doubles. He's driven in 18. Swing and a miss there for Lobsher. 0-1 count. Nick Ferrioli pitching with multiple runners on base. Second and third now for the Bombers. The 0-1 is tapped foul. Ryan Lobsher's a 6'4" junior from Simsbury, Connecticut. Well, Ithaca's got some height. This Bomber squad could give some basketball teams a run for their money. Just as far as the length out there. It's a good-looking squad. Here's the 0-2. This ball bounced up the middle. It's going to be a tough play here. Hansen coming on. He'll throw across. Backhand pick at first base. He'll get the out. It's a 6-3 fielder's choice that will score another run for Ithaca. All of a sudden, it's just a 3-run game. The Bombers were never out of it down 5-0, but now you really feel like you're right back in it. If it's a boxing match, you feel like, hey, we've won a round now. I know we're in the top of the fourth inning, and Alvernia technically gets to answer in the bottom of the round. Here's one up the middle. Oh, stab. That ball hit the turf. Throw from one knee. Great little bounce pass across by the shortstop, Bobby Hansen. A couple solid plays defensively from Bobby Hansen limits the damage for Alvernia, but Ithaca is on the board. It'll be 2 runs on 3 base hits for the Bombers. They do leave a runner on base, and Ithaca still trails 5-2, moving to the bottom of the fourth inning. First-year man Quincy Asanason will lead it off for Alvernia in their half of the fourth inning. Lead has been trimmed. It's a 5-2 Golden Wolves advantage. Quincy Asanason from Neptune, New Jersey. Two-hit day yesterday. He had a two-hit day in Game 3 against Messiah, so it's back-to-back multi-hit games right now for this freshman from New Jersey. Walked in his previous at-bat. I thought it was a really good at-bat. Laid off a tough breaking ball down in the zone and ended up working the walk. He'll have the watchful eye on that 1-0 delivery, and now it's 2 balls and no strikes. Asanason did strike out in his first at-bat. Got to the ballpark as Alvernia's game against Case was getting underway yesterday and just kind of got to observe Asanason out there in right field. Like his mannerisms, he seems to have that bounce and spring in his step, plays energetic, hitting in the 2-hole here for the Golden Wolves. He's hitting with a 2-1 count on John Griffin at the moment. Asanason will swing on that and flare it out of play. Such a fun time to be a baseball fan here in late May. Cleveland Guardians with an exciting win last night over the Minnesota Twins. That one scrambled Asanason. Not quite the scrambled eggs. That's the reference we should have made for the breakfast in baseball. But, yeah, you got D3 into the regionals here. The D1s will be getting into the conference tournaments and all that stuff. It really is a good time to be a baseball fan. It's a fun weekend here in between Mother's Day and Memorial Day. It's actually really good scheduling by the NCAA to have it this weekend. I don't know if it's intentional or not. It's just probably just the way the season works out. But it's actually a really good weekend. Mike Raimondo steps in as Asanason takes his second walk of the game. It'll be a first walk that Griffin has issued. Fourth free pass as a team for the Alvernia Golden Wolves. Raimondo's been hit and he's taken a walk. I thought he also laid off some really, really nasty pitches in his at-bat against Picozzi. I just get the impression that Raimondo is ready to swing that medal around. Raimondo on the season hitting .448 coming into the tournament. He's sitting on go. He's sitting on green. He'll just watch this breaking ball from Griffin cruise past his elbow and then catch the inner black for strike one. Good pitch from Griffin. Mike Raimondo, a senior from Lincoln Park, New Jersey. Asanason running. It was a breaking ball in the dirt that Raimondo swung noticeably late on. I think it was a hit and run. And Raimondo felt like, oh, if I don't swing the bat, the coach might yell at me here. And also there is some value in swinging late on that because you keep the catcher back. That's one thing some of those old school coaches would talk about with the hit and run. Even if it is a pitch that's kind of unhittable, swing late, keep the catcher back a bit, let us steal the base. Now it's an 0-2 count, runner in scoring position with nobody out. Here's the pitch to Raimondo. He'll get a piece and stay alive. Good wheels out there from Asanason. You saw that. Quincy Asanason has just stolen base number 6 on the season. You can tell he runs well from that burst. Raimondo right now 77 hits on the season, 54 last year. 31 his sophomore campaign, 33 as a first year. That adds up to 195. Statistics unofficial, as always. Couple looks from Griffin. Raimondo's out front, but he gets a piece. Good little stab at third base. Throw is high. Throw is out of the first baseman's mitt. Asanason's going to turn around third, and Alvernia will have their 6th run of the ball game. That could be one of those hit and error situations right there, but it might just be a straight-up error. Raimondo did well to stay alive and put the ball in play. There's definitely some value in forcing the defense to make a play, and you saw it right there. Lob sure came up. I thought he did nicely to kind of press through that ball, give a good pocket presentation on the short hop, but the throw was up the line towards the home plate side of the first base bag. First baseman Camden Laney got his mitt on it. It popped out and then went further into foul territory. That allows Asanason to come around and score. Also, Raimondo scampers to second. It's a runner in scoring position again. First pitch hack from Jason Kelly. Slow roller, left side, long throw coming. Long throw completed that time by the shortstop, Riley Braudy. First out of the inning for Ithaca,
First baseman, number 3.
who has been quite sound defensively today and yesterday. But the Bombers was just a little let down there, one they would love to have back. Runner on second is Mike Raimundo. Hitter now is Matt Edwards. Matt Edwards banged the 2 RBI double in inning number 1. Grounded out to the shortstop in his last at bat. He's 1 for 2. Here's the 0-0 from Griffin, breaking ball. Close miss. Matt Edwards is a Pennsylvania guy for Alvernia. Time called first by the catcher, then the home plate umpire. Second pitcher of the game for Ithaca is John Griffin. Looked sharp initially. This will be the 9th batter he has faced. Look out. Edwards roasting a ball down the left field line. Edwards is going to hold it first, but Raimundo will score easily. 2-hit day for Matt Edwards. He's got 3 RBI now. First baseman for Alvernia is doing it for the Golden Wolves, and they have answered. I was talking about it felt like maybe a round win for Ithaca. It was at the moment, but they've leaked 2 more runs here in the bottom of the 4th. I think that's one of the things that great teams do. They seem to answer their opponent's run-scoring innings. If you score 1 or 2 in the top of the inning, not at a 100% rate, but very often those great teams seem to find a way to answer in the bottom of the inning. They don't let you have the momentum for long, those great squads. They seem to have a knack for that. And maybe at first thought that seems like a weird statement, because don't you always want to score runs? I guess that could be the counterpoint to that. Don't you want to score even if the other team doesn't want to score? Yes. I think those great teams just find a way to have that little sense of urgency. They tighten the focus just a bit. They do seem to answer more often than not. It's a 7-2 ball game now. Might be more as Houghton leans into one. This ball is long. This ball is gone, but foul. Oh, wow. That was close. We got the tall yellow foul fair pole down the line here at Case Western. Umpire got out, got in a good spot, made the call immediately. Tip of the cap to our umpires so far this weekend. I think they've been outstanding. Not easy to do. Not easy to ump these highly competitive games. You got 2 teams that are playing with passion, playing with fire. You got coaching staffs that'll maybe let you know if they think you missed one. But I think our crew has been great today in the first 2 games. Hats off to them. And they're in this spot for a reason. They're getting these assignments because they've been some of the best umpires throughout the season. So a nice opportunity for those guys. And probably one, the broadcasters probably don't talk about the umps enough. Except when they go to criticize the umpires. So we'll change that. We'll give the umpires some real credit. I think they've been very good so far. There's a high heater that Houghton couldn't catch up to. So he thought he had a home run, couldn't keep it in play. He'll end up taking a strikeout there on the high fastball. Here's Bobby Hansen, 0 for 2. Popped up to the shortstop and grounded out to the third baseman. Hansen hits with 1 on and 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Another run-scoring inning for Alvernia. They've scored multiple runs here in 3 of the first 4. Hansen's going to put down a base hit bunt attempt. Griffin off the slope. He'll pick up and won't even throw. That was outstanding from Bobby Hansen. Well disguised, showed it late, deadened the ball perfectly. It's a base hit, and it's hit number 7 of the ball game for Alvernia. This Golden Wolves attack. They're stealing some bases. They're doing the hit and run. They've got doubles. Houghton almost had a home run. Now they're dropping down base hit bunts. Golden Wolves have taken 4 walks. I mean, this is an offensive outpouring here early in the first 4 innings that would make any hitting coach happy. Pitching for Ithaca has been under extreme pressure in the early part of this contest. It's a 7-2 Alvernia advantage. Garrett Hunter looking for more. He is 1 for 2. Hits with the open stance. Hands extended, shoulder height. He'll swing on this. This ball might be down. Long run in center field. It will. We might have another play at the plate. Throw coming in. The slide. It's mishandled at home plate. Alvernia's got their 8th. Good job to back up there by John Griffin. Good execution of the fundamentals there by Griffin to hustle there and back that up. 2-hit day for Garrett Hunter. He'll advance to second on the throw. I believe it'll go down as a single for Hunter. There are runners at second and third. The hits keep coming for the Golden Wolves. And I'm telling you, back to momentum. If you're Alvernia, you carry a lot of momentum into the game later on today. This is game 3 in the tournament. That would be game 5. And a reminder, the winner of this game will take on the loser of the second game today, game 4 of the tournament between Lynchburg and Case. And Alvernia's still got work to do in this one. This is not done and dusted. But you just feel like the Golden Wolves, they're high on the hog right now. They are really feeling it right now. Why wouldn't they be? They lead 8-2. 1-0 count. Runners on second and third. The hitter is Logan Nelson, who's 2 for 2, by the way. Nelson waiting on the 1-0. Down low to try to dig that one out, and he'll foul it away. Count is even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. So, interesting stat line here. Hitters 1, 2, and 3 for Alvernia are hitless, but they've been on 6 times combined. Hitters 1, 2, and 3, Chapman, Asanason, and Raimundo, they have 4 walks between them and 2 hit by pitch. And then the rest of the lineup has all the base hits. 8 of them so far for Alvernia. Breaking ball, Nelson able to stay alive. There are 2 outs, 2 on. Alvernia has had hits in every inning. They have scored in 3 of 4. Infield, regular depth for Ithaca. Outfield, regular depth straight away. Left fielder might be slightly shallow. Maybe that's just my opinion and perspective. The 1-2 from Griffin. Ball down low. Chopper to short. Broady's going to have to hustle. Bazooka across. Head first slide at first, but Logan Nelson is out. 3 runs in the inning for Alvernia. It's 3 on 3 base hits. They leave 2 stranded. There was 1 Ithaca error, and the Golden Wolves lead the Bombers 8-2 after 4 complete. Top 5 here at Nobby's Ballpark, Cleveland, Ohio. It'll be Ethan Rothstein leading off for Ithaca. Bombers scored 2 in the top of the 4th. Alvernia answers with 3 in their half of the 4th inning. Check swing on a high fastball. Rothstein lays off. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Third baseman almost even with the bag for Alvernia. Rest of the infield straight away. Normal depth. Outfield squared up, medium deep for the Golden Wolves, who lead 8-2. Yogi Lutz, the head coach for Alvernia, has to be pleased with his start, knows that there's more work to be done. There's a little disappearing off-speed pitch from Ferrioli, got a swing and a miss from Rothstein, and now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Riley Brody, the shortstop for Ithaca, waiting on deck. Both shortstops have thrown the glove around a bit today. It's 2 runs on 4 hits for the Bombers. Ithaca has made 1 error. 8 runs on 8 hits, no errors for Alvernia. Golden Wolves have drawn 4 walks. And this man, Nick Ferrioli, has walked no Ithaca batters. Struck out 2. It's a 2-2 count. As Ferrioli has the sign, he's set. He'll lift the right leg, pitch with the left arm. Just missed. Long hold there from the catcher, Garrett Hunter. That is sometimes an indicator of how close the pitch was. Good thing to look for as a baseball fan. If you can't quite see the strike zone from your angle, just watch how long the catcher lets the umpire see it. That'll tell you how close he thinks it is. Catcher Garrett Hunter is going to try to make a play on a pop-up. He got to the fence line, the netting pretty comfortably, but that ball will land on about row 3 of the bleachers. Ample seating here at Case Western. And you can take in the game from across the street as well, the apartments across the street. That would be a good spot for a baseball fan. And there's no lights here at Nobby's Ballpark, so you're not going to be kept up late. You can be a baseball fan and still get to bed on time. You can still be asleep by 10 p.m. This ball's hit well by Rothstein. Left center gap. Long run for center and left. Oh, and the catch is made out there by Logan Nelson. On the move. He'll end up just putting his paws on the outfield wall to feel where it is, but a good grab by Logan Nelson, covering the ground efficiently to make the catch. Tough one there from Rothstein. He hit it well. Hit it in a good location, too. Baseballs usually hit them where they ain't. Seems like Logan Nelson must be everywhere the way he ran that ball down. 1 out. The top of the 5th inning. There's one that went over the head of the shortstop, Riley Brody. He actually did well to get the bat out of the way from behind him. It's a terrible feeling for a hitter. You almost get hit in the head and then somehow it hits your bat for a foul ball strike. Or worse, it goes in play. 1-1. As Ferrioli corrected and found the strike zone. The southpaw will fire again, missing with an off-speed pitch. Leadoff man Colin Shishadi is on deck for the Bombers. Big swing from Brody on a ball upstairs. For Ithaca, the outfield hits 1, 2, and 3. Shishadi in right, Feeney in center, Fabo in left. If you could get all 3 of those guys up here in this inning, you'd feel pretty good about it. For Alvernia, it will be the top of their order coming up in the bottom of the 5th. 4 plate appearances for Jake Chapman. Might run on a room on your score sheet this game. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball, left side, a dive from the third baseman. But Houghton comes up empty. That's a clean single for Ryan Brody. And a runner on first with 1 out for the Ithaca Bombers. Bombers have 5 hits now. I think they're starting to figure out this puzzle that Ferrioli gives you. Starting to get closer to solving the Rubik's Cube. Twisting the thing around there and trying to figure it out. Colin Shishadi is hitless so far today. Did have 1 hit yesterday. He's grounded out to short. Hit a ball on the nose to center field, but that was another catch that Logan Nelson made. Here's the pitch. High and wide for ball 1. Colin Shishadi. He's a senior from Northport, New York. That one was up and in, but also a ball. We were commenting yesterday that the zone seemed a little tight from our umpire. Maybe hitter-friendly, but the Ithaca Lynchburg numbers did not back that up. A 3-1 victory there for Lynchburg. They took a while to get going offensively. Game 1 was 7-4. Case Western Reserve beat Alvernia, so a little bit more run scoring there. 2 different home plate umpires, obviously. Shashati will show the bunt, take a strike. 3-1 count now. Colin Feeney, the center fielder, waits on deck. There's one out in the top of the 5th inning. Nick Ferrioli holds, set, just above the belt. Now he'll throw over to first. He might have had the change-up grip. The ball just kind of floated over there. Yeah, Shashati 1 hit yesterday against Lynchburg. 2 hits, 2 for 4 versus Rochester on May 11th. He's had a lot of multi-hit games in the last couple weeks. Breaking ball down off speed, we'll say. May not have been a breaking ball from Ferrioli. But that's a walk. First free pass he has issued. And it will result in a mound visit. The entire infield will be in on this one. There is one out with runners on first and second. The hitter is Colin Feeney. I think it's a good mound visit right here because Ferrioli hasn't done much wrong in this ball game. He gave up the 3 consecutive hits, 2 runs, but I think you're okay with that. The walk there, I think you just want to kind of reassure your man a bit. You might go over the game plan here against a good hitter, Colin Feeney. And with runners on first and second, maybe just a reminder or two to the infielders about possible coverage. It's not a sacrifice bunt situation with 1 out. Could be a base hit bunt situation, though, from Colin Feeney. He is a left-handed swinger. And on that note, the third baseman for Alvernia is in on the turf line, the green where the brown turf meets the green turf, what would be the grass line on a natural grass field. So Ben Houghton, the third baseman, is a few steps in front of the third base bag. First baseman played behind. First pitch, hack. This ball's up the middle. This could be 2 for Alvernia. It is a relatively easy double play for the shortstop, Bobby Hansen. Oh, they're going to call him back. Did this ball – it was a balk. It was a balk on Nick Ferrioli. Wow. Runners advance to second and third, and it's no pitch. My goodness. It's an 8-2 ball game. Might seem insignificant right now, but another one to file away and look back on if Ithaca can come back in this game. That would have been out of the inning, no runs surrendered. Now Colin Feeney, he's actually gotten to look at a pitch from Ferrioli, but it's an 0-0 count, and there are 2 in scoring position with 1 out. He'll swing on the second one, hit into right field. Quincy Asanason is there, comfortable grab. He'll 360 around and fire it into second base. Runners move up, so call it a sacrifice fly for Colin Feeney. Good job to know the assignment. You're down 6. You might be just looking for a base hit, but I still think a good concept to keep in mind as a hitter. Get that ball elevated, get it into the outfield for the sac fly. 8-3 is your score now. There is a runner on third with 2 outs. Inside pitch, just missed to Louis Fabo. Fabo's 1 for 2 in this game. 2 hits yesterday for Fabo. And unofficially, he has 226 in the career. Fabo will watch an off-speed pitch go south of the zone, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Louis Fabo is a senior from Hewitt, New Jersey. This one has also missed the zone from Ferrioli. Could be trying to pitch around a good hitter, but I actually don't think that's it. I think Ferrioli has lost the zone here slightly. Remember, he walked Colin Shashati on 5 pitches. He's walked Louis Fabo on 4 pitches. Something to be aware of if you're the Ithaca Bombers squad. Colin Feeney swung at the first 2 pitches, but around that, Shashati walked on 5, Fabo walked on 4. So you have to be aware of that as an offense. And maybe that's something the players can do on their own, or maybe that's something the coach tells you. But I think you have to be aware of that. It does not mean that Ferrioli's not going to figure it out and throw strike 1 right here. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be ready to swing at the first pitch if you're Camden Laney. He's 1 for 2, by the way, flew out to right field. But it is a point of awareness. It's something to know and be ready for. Laney was ready for the first, and he's under it. And this will be the end of the inning. Oh, excuse me. There's 3 outs. Yes, yeah. There is 3 outs. The runner at first was confused, so he held up. He thought there was only 1 out. There was 2 outs, and that will be the third and final out of the inning. So Laney flies out. It is a run-scoring inning for Ithaca. They get 1 run on 1 hit. They leave 2 stranded, and Alvernia still leads 8-3, moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. All right, the Ithaca Bombers have a new arm on the mound. Third pitcher they have used will be number 13, Sean Kelly. 3-1 this season. This will be appearance number 17. Looks like 14 of those are from the bullpen. 5.04 is the earned run average. Sean Kelly has pitched 25 innings this season, struck out 16, walked 9 hitters, batting .306 against Sean Kelly. Has only surrendered 3 extra base hits this year. Those are 3 doubles, so he's kept opponents in the ballpark. No home runs so far in this game. 2 in Game 1 yesterday between Alvernia and Case Western. None in Game 2. So we'll keep an eye on how the ball is flying here at Nobby's ballpark. Sun's trying to fight its way out. We had that mist early and just 100% cloud cover as the day was starting, but seems like the clouds might be trying to lift a little bit and give us some sunshine to enjoy a 3-game day at Nobby's ballpark. This is Game 3 in the tournament. Game 4 is slated for noon between Lynchburg and Case Western Reserve University. The loser of that game will meet the winner of this one. Loser of this game between Ithaca and Alvernia sees their season come to a close. For Ithaca, they have won regional tournaments the last 2 seasons. Their stumbling block has been the Super Regional. So they're not a team that's going to go down easily here on day 2. Bombers, I think, are going to show some serious fight as this game gets into the later stages. That's not the start they would have wanted from the new man, Sean Kelly. He has plunked Jake Chapman, the leadoff hitter, right in the back. Second time Chapman's been hit. He's walked 1 time as well. So Chapman's been aboard 3 times, but he's got an 0-for-1 box score at the moment. That's another fun baseball thing. Maybe you could argue that's classic leadoff play for Jake Chapman. He is the leadoff hitter for Alvernia. Get on any way you can. Here's Quincy Asanason. He's walked twice. He got hit. That ball grazed the elbow and inner part of the jersey. It was a better pitch from Sean Kelly, but still one that was in the opponent's batter's box. I credit Asanason for not moving. He did kind of roll a little bit with it, but stayed in the way enough of the flight path of the ball. So how about that? Asanason has taken 2 walks and been hit by a pitch. He's 0-for-1, just like Jake Chapman, but has been aboard thrice. Mike Ramundo has been hit by a pitch and walked. He's still looking for his first base hit. And you know he wants that. Ramundo will take strike 1. Good job by Sean Kelly just to relieve some pressure by getting a strike there. 0-1 count. Ramundo is the senior from Lincoln Park, New Jersey. He's put together a season to remember Fastball out of the zone, 1-1 count. That tells you something about the Golden Wolves' thought process in this game. They lead by 5, but they got their 3-hole hitter who's hitting over 440 on the season squaring around to maybe sacrifice bunt. These 2 runs are important for Alvernia. Corners are in for the Bombers. Yeah, Raimundo's going to show it early. Textbook bunt, good location, left side. Bombers will go to third. They'll get the lead runner there. Nice play by Sean Kelly. As a lefty, you are falling off to that side of the mound. Play becomes slightly easier, but still a pretty high degree of difficulty there for Kelly to get to that one.
Number 88, Jason Kelly.
So the sack bunt does not pay off for Alvernia. Mike Raimundo is, I believe, now 1 for his last 9. That could have factored into this decision-making there. Watch out, this could be 2. Second baseman bobbled slightly. Bombers get the first, they get the second. So Alvernia threatens in the bottom of the 5th, but Ithaca with a good bunt coverage play. Then they turn 2 up the middle, 4-6-3. Bombers are out of the inning, and Ithaca will look to build some momentum heading to the top of the 6th. Top 6 at Nobby's Ballpark. Elimination. It's game 3 of the tournament. Nick Ferrioli still out there for Alvernia. He's been really good. He was outstanding early. He's still been really good. Hit hard a few times. It's 3 runs on 5 hits for Ithaca. Bombers have 1 extra base hit. That was Ethan McDonough's double in inning number 3. No, that was inning number 4 that McDonough doubled home. Couple Bomber teammates. Here's one with some juice to the opposite field. And down the right field line, Quincy Asanason making the grab for out number 1 of the inning. Ethan McDonough is retired, 1 for 3 at the moment. Here's Ryan Lobser. Third baseman is 0 for 2. Flew out to left, grounded out to the third baseman. Tyler Puglisi, the catcher, waiting on deck. He is 1 for 2. Strong start from Nick Ferrioli. No balls, 1 strike. So it's interesting because now all 4 teams can say they've really gotten a quality start from their starting pitcher. And Ithaca has had to use 3 pitchers in this game so far, but just 1 yesterday. So I again would argue that everybody still has their bullpen intact. And I think right now in the top of the 6th inning, all 4 teams can claim a legitimate shot at winning this regional tournament. Now, after this game is over, only 3 teams will be able to say they have a shot. Season on the line right here for these 2 squads. It's a 3-1 count with 1 out. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Alvernia leads 8-3. And if you're an Alvernia fan, you might not want to hear that. You might not want to hear that Ithaca still has a chance to win the game and the tournament. But if you're the Bombers, that's how you have to think. You have to have that never say die attitude. You can't just roll over and start packing the bus. It's an Ithaca team that I said would not be doing that after 3 straight Liberty League championships and back-to-back NCAA Super Regional appearances. They are going to give a lot of fight here as this game comes to a conclusion. But it's never easy to erase a 5-run deficit, especially when you're running out of time. We're in the top of the 6th. 1 out. Tyler Puglisi will spray one back to the netting. Back to the mentality for Alvernia. Keep swinging, keep building some momentum. If you could score double-digit runs, I feel like that would be a nice little psychological box to check. Feel good about the offense. Got to feel good about this start from Ferrioli. They'll get a swing and a miss on a 1-1 delivery, and the 1-2 is on the way here in just a moment. There's 1 out. Runner on first is Ryan Lobster, the third baseman today for Ithaca. 2 changes in the starting lineup, I believe, as Ferrioli misses outside with the 1-2. Yeah, Logan Scully was the DH yesterday for Ithaca. He's not in the lineup. Rothstein was the third baseman yesterday, and he is playing second base today. Matt Curtis was the second baseman for Ithaca starting yesterday. So some shuffling, some adjustments. It's pretty common for some teams. Call it a platoon situation. A lot of times with the double headers in college baseball. Oh, kind of a weird strike 3 call from the home plate umpire. Sort of slow rolled the call. We weren't even really sure what it was, but our home plate umpire did call that strike 3. It's punch out number 3 for Nick Ferrioli. But yeah, with the doubleheaders, it's so common to see college baseball teams go with different lineups. There's first pitch swung on by Rothstein, lasered it right into the glove of Ben Houghton at third base, and the inning is over. No runs on no hits, 1 Bomber runner left on, no Alvernia errors, and they lead 8-3 as we move towards the bottom of the 6th inning. Third baseman Matt Edwards leads off for Alvernia. He's got 2 hits, 2 for 3. Grounded out to the shortstop. And he's facing pitcher number 3 for the Ithaca Bombers. It's Sean Kelly still out there to begin the bottom of the 6th inning. Multi-hit games for Matt Edwards. Garrett Hunter in the 8-hole has 2 hits. Logan Nelson has 2 hits for this Alvernia Golden Wolves squad that has some really well-rounded offensive numbers coming into the tournament. They have continued that theme. Jake Chapman has been on 3 times with no hits. Quincy Asanason can say the same thing. No hits, 0 for 1. And Mike Raimondo has now, Raimondo's got an interesting stat line. He's actually been on the bases 4 times. He's got a sacrifice bunt, reached on an error, walk, and a hit by pitch. So at this point, Raimundo's like trying to be the answer to that trivia question of what are the different ways that a batter can reach first base. He'll need the base hit at some point. He'll need a catcher's interference at some point. He's closing in on all the different things. I guess Raimundo has actually not reached on a fielder's choice yet as well. Mound Conference here on the bump for Ithaca. No indications again yet whether it's a change or just a strategy meeting. And the umpires will expedite this meeting as they start taking the stroll out to the bump. There are no outs. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. Alvernia scored 2 in the first, 3 in the second, none in the third. They did threaten, got a couple base hits. 3 runs in the 4th for the Golden Wolves and nothing in the 5th. Ithaca blanked in innings 1, 2, and 3. They put up a 2-spot in inning number 4. Bombers scored 1 in the 5th and a 0 in the top of the 6th. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. Matt Edwards is at first. He just walked. Alvernia has been hit 4 times today. They have drawn 5 walks. Sean Kelly has issued 1. Sacrifice bunt shown by Houghton. Edwards slides back in feet first, which is slightly unconventional. Usually it's the head first dive back to a base, but it worked for Matt Edwards. He's safe. Sean Kelly, another lefty. He'll pitch. There's the sac bunt. Airborne, not in catching distance for Tyler Puglisi, who scrambled out from behind the plate to try to run one down there. Ithaca's in the dark blue tops, white trim, gray pants, blue stripe going down the side. Alvernia is in that sort of bronze. It's kind of got a camo thing going on with the burgundy numbers, burgundy helmet, white pants. This one north of the zone from Sean Kelly will make the count 2-1 with nobody out. We were discussing Alvernia's propensity to sacrifice bunt in between innings. Big part of their offensive game plan. Yeah, Houghton's got it out way early again. Flat bat, top of the zone, pushes it to the right side. Kelly will come off. Easy flip to first base for the out. It is a successfully executed sacrifice bunt. You know, I was actually wrong about Mike Raimundo. He doesn't have a sac bunt because the runner was thrown out at third. Raimundo does have the fielder's choice. He reached on a fielder's choice, a 1-5. He tried to sacrifice bunt, Mike Raimundo, but when the lead runner gets thrown out, statistically, it is not a sacrifice. So there's your correction. I said all my numbers are always unofficial. And with 3 games today, who knows what we'll be saying by the end of the afternoon. 1-0 count as Kelly has missed the zone again. This one's shot down the right field line, but it will not stay fair. So I guess Kelly's thrown 4 strikes now in his work, and he's recorded 4 outs. Wow. And you can't really necessarily call Alvernia a free swinging team. They take a lot of walks. They get hit by a lot of pitches. Bobby Hansen, the shortstop, has 1 hit. He's grounded out to third, popped out to the shortstop. Bobby Hansen has played a fine shortstop today, just like Riley Braudy for Ithaca. Here's the pitch, runner on second. Good hold there by Hansen. Threw up the stop sign to let the runner know that he should not advance. Good slide and block by Tyler Puglisi. Catching play's been good so far through the first 3 games of this tournament. Another one that you probably expect, but you haven't seen too many balls go to the backstop. Not too many runners advancing on the wild pitch pass ball scenario. Some base stealing. I think overall our catchers deserve some high praise. Not easy to be a catcher in the game of baseball with the bruising and beating that you take on the foul tips and some of those things. You get to follow through, swing, get hit occasionally. And then you got to swing the bat as a catcher too. Speaking of swinging the bat, Hansen has done that, pumping that ball on the backside gap. That's down for extra bases. Edwards is going to take the turn around third. Tandem relay in the middle will not be in time to get Bobby Hansen. Head first slide into third base. It's an RBI triple, and the Alvernia Wolves are scoring again. backside power, too. That was well struck by Bobby Hansen. That's going to feel real good. On the season, it's Bobby Hansen's first triple. Corners will come in for the Ithaca Bombers with Garrett Hunter, the catcher, stepping in. Hunter is 2 for 3 in this game. Actually, the entire infield's coming in for Ithaca. The moment might be right now for the Bombers. Trying to keep Alvernia within arm's length. Right now, the Golden Wolves lead by 6. 9-3 advantage. Alvernia has scored in 4 of 6 innings. And if they score in another one, it'll be multiple runs in those 4 innings. That one well wide of the zone. Good play by Puglisi to pop out and snare that before it hit the backstop. A fairly deep backstop here at Case Western Reserve. 40 feet-ish. Can get some rebound off that wall behind. It's a low waist-high wall and then netting. This ball sent down the right field line. Foul territory, but the catch will be made. Runner tags, play at the plate. Not in time to get Bobby Hansen. Give Hansen an RBI and a run and give Alvernia another multiple run scoring inning. Garrett Hunter with a successfully executed sacrifice fly. Tough spot right there for Colin Shashadi because that ball's foul, and there's some schools of thought that will tell you just let the ball drop foul so the other team doesn't get the run on the sacrifice fly. That's hard to do. That's hard to turn off for an outfielder. You're trained to catch the ball. If it's the game-winning run on third base and you're in the 9th inning, maybe you do let that ball drop foul right there because you know it's probably too deep to throw the guy out. I think you go ahead and catch it right here. But back to baseball, everybody's got an opinion or a different mindset. That's what's so beautiful about our game. Everybody's entitled to those opinions.
You just clear the count and put in
and you should have an opinion. That means you're a passionate fan. 1-2 to Logan Nelson. Logan Nelson's working on a 2-hit day. Doubled in the 2nd inning. Singled in the 4th. And he has been a big part of some of these run-scoring outbursts. Won't be a part of this one, though, as he goes down swinging to end the inning. It's another multi-run inning for the Alvernia Golden Wolves. They're on top 10-3 through 6 complete at Nobby's Ballpark in Cleveland. In the bottom of the 6th inning for Alvernia, it was 2 runs on 1 hit. The big hit was a big one, an RBI triple for Bobby Hansen. He comes home to score on the sacrifice fly. 10 runs on 9 hits for the Golden Wolves, but they've taken 5 walks. They've been hit by pitches 4 times, so you got 9 extra base runners right there. There is 1 Ithaca error as well. Ground ball. Pretty routine on the right side there as Riley Brody grounds out to Mike Ramundo.
Right fielder, number 19.
And this will bring up the right fielder, Colin Shashadi. He's walked 1 time, flew out to center field on a ball that he hit hard, grounded out to the shortstop. All right, Bombers got to get real busy here, down by 7 with only 3 innings to work with. And you're actually down to 2 2/3 to work with now, technically, with the out there to begin the top of the 7th. Nick Ferrioli still pitching and pitching effectively for Alvernia. He's in that A category right now. If he finishes it off or even takes the ball into the 9th inning, I give him an A+. That one just north of the zone. Very good pitch, and it's a 2-1 count. And back to the nature of a tournament like this where you're playing a bunch of games in a short amount of time, Ferrioli is not only keeping his team in this game, he's keeping his team in future games by saving the bullpen. That is so important. Alvernia only used 2 pitchers yesterday. This is a Golden Wolves squad that I think is going to be extremely dangerous later on this afternoon. Because, again, if, and I'm saying if, the game is not done and dusted yet, but if Alvernia finishes this off, they're going to be riding a wave of confidence offensively and defensively. Their offense is greasing its gears and getting ready to crank up even more, you think, potentially. And pitching-wise, their bullpen should be in pretty sound working order. It is a ball 4 there that will send Shashadi to first base. Second walk he's drawn. 0-1 count to Colin Feeney. Feeney has a sacrifice fly, a strikeout, and a ground out. Fourth free pass, that Ferrioli has issued. Maybe that gets him into A- category. I don't think so. We'll see how the game ends, though. I just love what Nick Ferrioli has done, changing speeds, changing locations. Soft tapper, left side, scramble on all 4 there by the third baseman. He'll make the flip to second base to get the out the short way. 5-4, fielder's choice. Pretty good by Ben Houghton. I think ball off the bat he might have been thinking too, but the way he had to kind of scramble to get to that, got down on all 4s there, and then made a good on-target throw to second base to get the lead runner. And you're perfectly fine with that right now with the 7-run cushion for Alvernia. Another ground ball from Nick Ferrioli. Back to his quality. He is hard to get the bat on at all. He's only struck out 3, though. So he's pitching to contact. Just hard to really square him up. Got a little bit of late movement. Back to the changing locations as well. Ferrioli can do that thing where he can go in and out. He can use both sides of the plate. He can also go up and down. Here's a pickoff attempt that's going to skip into right field. Runner will advance there. Going to be an E2. Error on Garrett Hunter. I think the idea from Hunter was sound, and I think he did well to stay on top of that ball and give his first baseman a chance, but Matt Edwards couldn't dig it out. He couldn't keep it in front. So the runner, Shashadi, will advance to second base. 2-0 count on Louis Fabo. Fabo is 1 for 2 with a walk. And now he's got 226 in his career at last count. A 2-hit yesterday for Fabo. He'd actually come in kind of cold. I believe he'd only had 1 hit in his last 4 contests. But Fabo seems to be heating up again rather quickly, and a good time to do so. Senior would love to go out with a bang. 3-0 count. Here's the pitch. Fabo will take for strike 1. Camden Laney on deck has a single, 1 for 3. 3 hits yesterday for Ithaca. They're up to 5 today, but still offense has been kept in check by good starting pitching. The 3-1 off the plate for ball 4. 5th walk now that Ferrioli has issued.
First baseman, number 36.
And if you can find fault with anything, it might be that. Wes Arrington, the starter for Lynchburg, issued, I believe it was 4 free passes yesterday to Ithaca. So they'll take the walks, and sometimes those great starting pitchers can fall into that effectively wild category. Whoa. I guess that one has some effect. You make Camden Laney dodge out of the way. 1-0 start, and this will prompt the assistant coach for Alvernia to sprint out of the dugout. Not a sprint, but the coach was out quick when that ball went by the eye line of Camden Laney. So a mound conference here for the Golden Wolves. And then while this goes on, we can remind you this is game 3 of the tournament. Yesterday, Lynchburg beat Ithaca 3-1. Case Western Reserve, the home host, got a victory 7-4 over the Alvernia Golden Wolves. So game 3 right now is an elimination game. Loser is done. Winner advances to game 5 later on today. Game 4 is scheduled to start at noon between Lynchburg and Case Western. That feels like a heavyweight matchup for sure. I think everybody's excited. And the winner of this one will be excited to watch that and figure out who they are going to face later on this afternoon. And back to the winner of this should be carrying some momentum and confidence into that game, whereas the loser between Case Western Reserve and Lynchburg might not feel as good coming off a loss. 2-0 count now as Nick Ferrioli has missed after the Mound Conference. See if it's green light for Camden Laney. Ithaca's down 7, but 2 on and 2 out in the top of the 7th. Called strike 1 on Laney. Ethan McDonough's on deck. He's got an RBI double and a 1-for-3 day working. Ferrioli looks in, ball in the glove. Now he'll come set just above the belt. Checks the runner at second. Here's the 2-1. That went over the batter as well, and there will be a ball that goes to the backstop. Complimented our catchers and just talked about how outstanding the catching play had been so far in these 3 games. And there you have one from Garrett Hunter that gets by him. Now, it was ruled a wild pitch, and it's hard to fault the catcher on a ball that really went behind the hitter's helmet. Ferrioli might be running out of gas here. See if he can empty the tank one more time and get out of the 7th inning. 3-1 delivery to Laney. Nope, ball 4. He's walked 3 out of the last 4. And this is going to be the end of the road for Nick Ferrioli. Still feels like an A to me on the grading scale. Not that we have to grade it. Any way you slice it, Nick Ferrioli's going to hand the ball off with a 7-run advantage, and he's held a good Bombers offense in check. We'll meet and greet the new pitcher in just a moment. We'll catch our breath and step aside. 2 outs, bases loaded. Bombers with a great opportunity to get back in it here in the top of the 7th. It'll be off a new arm in just a moment. The new pitcher for Alvernia is a junior from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. It's Evan Thomas. Evan Thomas will enter with a 7-run cushion. The bases are loaded, however, for Ithaca. And this feels like a real chance for the Bombers to maybe get back in the ball game. The hitter will be the talented Ethan McDonough. He's the DH, 1-for-3 so far. Evan Thomas is a two-way player. He's listed as an infielder and a pitcher. And it looks like this will just be pitching appearance number 5 on the season for Evan Thomas. He last threw, get this, fans, on March 29th. Evan Thomas has not set foot on the rubber, in the game action anyway, since March 29th against Albright. The pitching stats on the year are pretty good, a 3.68 earned run average. It's just 7 1/3 innings pitched. He struck out 5 and walked 2 and allowed just 3 earned runs in those 7 innings and change. Here comes the 0-0 to McDonough. First pitch swung on, cue ball off the end of the bat. Thomas will have to cover, underhand flip, and they get him at first. bang, bang down the line. One pitch and out of the inning for Thomas. What a big spot right there. McDonough went after the first one, got it off the end of the bat, and the inning is over. Ithaca gets the bases loaded, but they leave 3 stranded. And Alvernia looking to put an exclamation point on things, maybe, heading to the bottom of the 7th inning, leading by 7. New pitcher for the Ithaca Bombers will be Dan Calican, and he will face the top of the lineup here in the bottom of the 7th inning for Alvernia. Chapman, Asanason, and Raimundo due up for Ithaca. Nick Ferrioli, the starter,
Your attention, please.
faced
Now pitching for Ithaca.
31 batters
Dan
and
Calican.
was really effective. And then Evan Thomas came in to face one. It was one pitch. Ethan McDonough went after the first one he saw, hit it off the end of the bat to the right side. First baseman Matt Edwards scrambled over, then made an underhand flip to Thomas, who was covering for the final out of the 7th inning. So the Bombers do threaten. They got 3 on, all via base on balls. But unfortunately for a Bombers fan, they get none across in what was a big spot. A big moment in the game right there. In a 7-run deficit, that's exactly what you're looking for. Load the bases late with a quality hitter up. But unfortunately, McDonough grounds out on the first pitch.
Number 6, Jake Chapman.
Jake Chapman is the leadoff hitter for Alvernia. He has been on 3 times, hit by pitch twice, walked once, grounded out to the first baseman 1 time. The top 3 hitters for Alvernia do not have a hit between them. But between those 3 hitters, they've been on 10 times. Now Raimundo has reached on an error and a fielder's choice. So those will hurt the average. But Raimundo has a walk and a hit by pitch. Asanason has 2 walks and a hit by pitch. Chapman has 1 walk and 2 hit by pitches. Or he's been hit by pitches twice, however you want to phrase it. Chapman fouls that one away towards the Ithaca dugout. Calican is the 4th pitcher Ithaca has used. Breaking ball down off the turf, right behind the plate for ball 2. Lynchburg and Case Western both getting some pregame warm-ups in. They'll have even more of that on the field, but they've done some hitting in the cage. Spartans from Case Western are going to be in some really cool uniforms, and I hope you'll stick around and watch that. I know it's a full day of baseball, but take in as much as you can. There's a swing and a miss on a nasty breaking ball. Chapman is down on strikes, and it's the first out at the bottom of the 7th inning.
Fielder, number 5, Quincy Asanason.
Remember, the scoring for Alvernia has been quality and quantity in this one. 2 runs in the first, 3 in the second, 0 in the third, 3 in the fourth, nothing in the 5th. They scored 2 more in the 6th, and here we are in the bottom of the 7th inning. Off-speed pitch outside on Quincy Asanason, ball 1. Ithaca blanked in innings 1, 2, and 3. They did score 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and nothing in innings 6 and 7. Check swing by Asanason, called strike 1. Quincy Asanason is the first-year man, really impressive. Just a good skill set, moves really well. Clearly, he's got the plate discipline in the eye. Quincy Asanason is a guy that has not started every game this season. This is start number 24. Average coming into the tournament was just 231. He is a guy that has more walks than strikeouts, though, and that's a pretty good indicator of a solid hitter. Asanason has 2 walks, 1 hit by pitch, and a strikeout so far today. The 2-2. Check swing from Asanason, laid off. You can see it right there. I mean, those are really good pitches. Your average hitter's offering at that. They may hit it, they may put it in play or foul it off, but I think your average hitter swings at that. The elite hitters do not. Full count delivery. Asanason will swing at this. Going to be a tough play, right side. First baseman will get to it, and they will get Asanason in time. Calican covering. Nice play by Camden Laney to slide over. Had to hurry. It wasn't a true sidearm throw or an underhand flip. It was something between those two. But they get Asanason by a half a step or less, a quarter of a step. Here's Mike Ramundo, still looking for his first hit of the ball game. Breaking ball down. Ramundo takes another good hold there. Mike Ramundo on the season has walked 13 times and struck out 16 times. Started every game. Probably read something into those numbers. It tells you that he's really actually a pretty aggressive hitter when you look at it that way. He does have 1 walk today. Those stats don't factor that in. Ramundo's got 4 homers in his career, 1 this season, 195 career hits. Called strike 2. Good location there. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Alvernia by 7 in the bottom of the 7th. They were held hitless in the 5th inning. Other than that, they've got hits in every inning up to this point. Ramundo flares that one out of play. Back foot came out, through the hands at it. Ramundo hit .347 as a first year. Sophomore slump had him down to .282. .331 in 2023. And over .440 this season. Ramundo, he'll slash one through the middle. There's a base hit. Should be career hit number 196 for Mike Ramundo. He needed that. I think Ramundo's a guy that's never going to be short on confidence, but again, still nice to see one find the green grass in the outfield. This brings up the designated hitter, Jason Kelly. 2 RBI single. That was in inning number 3, and he is just 1 for 3. Did ground into that 4-6-3 double play. That was very timely for the Bombers. That was one that I said file away. If Ithaca does make a comeback, think about that one. But the Bombers are running out of opportunities, down to their final 6 outs. Here's the 1-0 to Kelly. Kelly's out in front of this. This will be a tough play. Third baseman, lobster coming on. Kelly beat it. Going to go down as an infield single. Second hit of the game for Jason Kelly. And it's runners on first and second now for Alvernia. So they have had a hit in every inning but the 5th. And they've had multiple hits in innings 2, 3, 4, and now 7. 2 runs on 1 hit in the 6th. Calican checks the runner at second. No real hold there on Ramundo. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball down. And it's a 1-0 count. Matt Edwards, he's 2 for 3 with a walk. Double, RBI single. Grounded out to the shortstop. The 1-0. Cue ball out in front of that. Sends it towards the Ithaca dugout. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Matt Edwards is a 6'1 sophomore from Langhorne, Pennsylvania. Another guy that fills out the uniform. Muscular, good frame. Talked about Ithaca. Give some basketball teams a run for their money on the height. This Alvernia squad, they take a back seat to nobody in the physique department. Edwards yanks that one foul. Third baseman will scramble over there and pick it up as it bounced back in play.
Yeah. Give it a second. It may pop back up here. If we need to, we'll shut it off and on between innings.
Edwards got down to dig that one out, hit it pretty well. It'll send the center fielder Feeney back, but he'll make a comfortable grab in the end to end the inning. So 2 base hits from Alvernia, but they do not score. And the Bombers are down to their final 6 outs. It's a 10-3 ball game, elimination Saturday morning from Nobby's Ballpark in Cleveland, Ohio. All right, we've got some defensive changes for Alvernia. Mike Pulsini is going to play second base. He's a 5'7" sophomore from East Northport, New York. Looks like the new third baseman for Alvernia is number 46, Ron Kopcho. He's a first year from Pemberton, New Jersey. Ryan Lobster leads off for Ithaca. In the 8th inning, Lobster will swing at the first. And there's Quincy Asanason running down a ball. Outfield play for Alvernia has been outstanding. It's another one that it's not a highlight reel play. You're not going to put that one on the highlight package, but it's actually a very good grab. And a lot of that play looks easy because of the break that Asanason gets on that, the instincts, the anticipation, the training, and the speed. We will get a pinch hitter. This is Logan Scully pinch hitting for Tyler Puglisi. We saw Scully in the starting lineup yesterday as the DH for Ithaca. He was 0 for 3. Still facing the same pitcher, Evan Thomas. Thomas threw 1 pitch in the 7th inning to get out of trouble, leave 3 Bomber runners stranded. Hasn't thrown many pitches here in the 8th inning. Scully looping that ball to shortstop, and watch out. It's a no-fly zone over there as Bobby Hansen takes one out of the sky. So it's a short at bat, and there's 2 outs now in the top of the 8th inning. Rothstein will be the hitter. He is 0 for 3, has hit the ball well twice. Line drive to the third baseman, and a pretty hard ball to center field. I think it's 3 or 4 pitches here for Evan Thomas. He is the epitome of efficiency right now on the mound for Alvernia. Rothstein maybe got told to take a pitch there. Maybe he just decided on his own and not offer, but that's strike 1. Here comes the 0-1. He'll swing it to second one. Ground ball left side. There's that new third baseman making a pretty snazzy play. Ryan Kopcho was ready. And he made a strong throw across the diamond. 3 up, 3 down. A quick inning for Ithaca. Not what they were looking for in the top of the 8th. We'll see if Alvernia can add some insurance as we move to the bottom half of the frame. Golden Wolves 10, Bombers 3. changes for the Bombers here in the bottom of the 8th inning. New pitcher will be Connor Burns. We'll run down his numbers for you in just a second. Logan Scully, who DH'd, will stay in and do the catching duties for the Bombers. It looks like everything else is intact. We think we're going to have a change in the lineup. Well, we know we're going to have a change in the lineup for Alvernia. Just a question of whether it will be that third baseman, Ryan Kopcho, coming in. So it was a double switch, actually. So Houghton, the third baseman, was in this spot in the order, but it's actually now going to be the guy that went in to play second base, Mike Pulsini. Pulsini's a 133 hitter on the year. Pretty small sample size, no starts. It'll be game number 24 he's played in. Pulsini is 2 for 15 to get to that 133 average. Connor Burns, the pitcher for the Ithaca College Bombers. Burns on the season, 3-3, 5 saves. This will be appearance number 18. No starts, all relief work for Burns. 3.90 earned run average. He struck out 28, walked only 11. He's only given up 2 extra base hits in 30 innings this season. That's 1 homer and 1 double. Good numbers for this guy. And if you're Ithaca, Burns is your closer at 5 saves. Griffin had 2, who we did see come in as the second pitcher today. But I think it's probably pretty smart. It was a complete game yesterday for Ithaca from Colin Lehner, so you don't have to use your closer there. You know your season's on the line. Go ahead and bring him in the 8th inning. And if somehow you can score 7 or more, you just leave Burns in to pitch the 9th, probably is the thought process here. Pretty deep fly ball to right center. Good job by Colin Feeney to get on his bike and cover the ground out there for out number 1.
Number 17, Bobby Hansen.
Ithaca went 3 up, 3 down in their half of the 8th. And it's a tough situation there for the Bombers offense because you know Evan Thomas is in the zone for Alvernia. You don't really want to go down in 5 or 6 pitches like the Bombers did, but it's also hard to handcuff your hitters and do the old take till you get a strike thing. That was a bit more common in the older days. It seems like coaches don't really like to do that quite as much late in games now. It used to be almost a standard when you were down late in the game. You'd tell your guys, let's take till we get a strike. Some coaches would do the old just take the first pitch, and then you're on green after that, whether it's a 1-0 or an 0-1 count, doesn't matter. But nowadays, coaches don't really like to handcuff the hitters like that. You train the hitters to be disciplined on your own. Maybe you do have the concept of let's go to a smaller zone since we're down 7 late in the game, but we're not ever going to completely turn the red light on. Back to different schools of thought, different opinions. Feels like the College of Baseball knowledge sometimes. Good swing there from Bobby Hansen. Hey, Hansen's got 3 hits in addition to some great glove work. He's doing it with the metal and the leather for Alvernia. Putting together a really good tournament, too. Bobby Hansen, the shortstop. Looks like hit number 12 for the Golden Wolves. And now the Wolves have had hits in 7 of their 8 innings. It is an offensive attack that is really relentless and well-rounded as well. We know Alvernia likes the sack bunt. They'll take the walks. They'll get hit by a pitch here and there. The sack flies in the mix. This guy, Garrett Hunter, had a sacrifice fly in his last at-bat, last plate appearance. Hunter's got a 2-hit day going on as well. Hits with the open stance. Hands out, extended a bit, black batting gloves. Hunter late on this and shoots it foul down the right side. 0-2 will be the count. .11:53 right now, so it's going to be here's the ball, slow roller left side. Oop, popped out of the glove there of Ryan Lobser. Be a tough play. It's in that little zone of indecision between hit and error. We'll wait for the official call. Going to be ruled a base hit. Now Garrett Hunter's got 3 hits to go along with the sac fly. 13 base hits. 10-3 is the score. It's a 7-run Alvernia lead. Golden Wolves have never trailed in this one. They sat Ithaca down in order at the top of the first, and then Alvernia scored 2 in the bottom of the first. Here's one sprayed foul by Logan Nelson. Logan Nelson has 2 hits, including a double in the second inning. Nelson 2 for 4, strikeout, ground out. Breaking ball inside, called strike 2. Logan Nelson, the center fielder, has been in the mix of that well-balanced defensive unit for Alvernia. This is Golden Wolves team. I mean, they swing it, they glove it, they pitch it. It's a lot to like about this squad. And back to the statements I've been making really all game. If Alvernia does hold on to win this, I think they are taking a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence into what will be Game 5 of the tournament later on today against a team that will be coming off a loss. And you know Lynchburg and Case West are going to let it all hang out. So that's going to be an emotional kind of a game. You're going to spend a lot of emotional and mental energy as well as some physical energy in that game. If you're Alvernia, Yogi Lutz, the coach, might take the boys back to the hotel for a little bit, get a bite to eat, or maybe they'll just stick around. Who knows what the game plan will be there. Some different schools of thought there. It's a good problem to have if you're a coach. It means you're still playing if you're trying to worry about the in-between games arrangement. 0-2 count for Logan Nelson. Barely gets a piece of that to stay alive. That might have been off the grip on the bat. Umpire's going to give Nelson a little chance to compose himself there. Back to the great umpiring. I love that about our officials nowadays. Player conscious. It's so much less about the umpire and more about the players. 2 on, 1 out. That ball was in. Nelson dodged. Got the hips and the front leg out of the way. Good scramble and stop by the new catcher, Logan Scully. Tyler Puglisi started. Logan Scully wearing the tools of the trade now for Ithaca. The 1-2 on the way. Nelson out front, airborne, long run. Catch made in shallow left center field by Colin Feeney.
Left fielder, number 6, Jake Chapman.
Jake Chapman is up for the 6th time today. He's just 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out to first. Hit by pitch twice, walked once. Jake Chapman has a chance to get his first base hit of the morning. Usually you say afternoon or evening, but yes, we've got one of each. We've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner here for you, baseball fans. Jake Chapman trying to end the breakfast buffet portion of things with a nice little tasty dessert. Could score another run here for Alvernia as well. Chapman's working with a 1-1 count and 2 outs. First baseman well behind. Rest of the infield normal depth. Chapman hit a foul ball right in the direction of the on-deck man Quincy Asanason. Coach is going to go down, and I think first off, just make sure he's okay, but kind of have a laugh with him. I don't know if the assistant coach gave Asanason the, hey, you got to catch that ball. You got to come up with that. That was a hard shot. Asanason's going to move a little further away now. Asanason will move up the third baseline a bit to do his on-deck warm-ups. There's no defined on-deck circle, and half the time players don't stay in those anyway, even when you have one. You have had some cases in the big leagues where I think it was Adrian Beltre got in trouble because he slid so far behind home plate. The umpire didn't care for that and excused him a bit. 2-2 count on Chapman. Swing and a miss. 8th inning is done, so Alvernia threatens again like they have so much in this game, but no additional runs And now Ithaca down to their final bite at the apple. It's going to need to be a big one. They will need to erase a 7-run hole. 10-3, Alvernia leads, moving to the top of the 9th. The shortstop, Riley Braudy, will lead things off for the Ithaca Bombers in the top of the 9th inning. Bombers down to their final 3 outs. They'll need 7 to tie, 8 to take a lead. Braudy will swing at the first pitch to begin and fly out to right field. It's another 1-pitch, 1-out situation for Ithaca. And again, that is a tough deal late in the game when you're down by 7. You don't want to handcuff your hitters, but then when you see guys get out swinging at the first pitch, it really breaks your heart a bit as a coach. Bombers down to their final 2 outs. Evan Thomas appears to be very confident on the mound for Alvernia, and he is attacking the strike zone. So that's the other thing. You know Thomas is in the zone. You don't want to start yourself in an 0-1 hole. That's one of the reasons why hitting is so difficult. So tough. This one out front, third base side. Bazooka across. Good play by the first baseman, Matt Edwards, to come off the bag and make the swipe tag. 2 outs, and Thomas has thrown 3 pitches in the inning. Good play on the ground there. Golden Wolves defense, I feel like, is in A-plus territory. They do have 1 error. 26 down, 1 to go for Alvernia. Not going to get it yet. First pitch hack from Colin Feeney. He shoots that through the middle for his first base hit of the game. So Feeney's aboard with 2 outs. Running game will be off for Ithaca. Should be off anyway. You tell your base runners you take no chances in this situation. Everything's probably station to station. Now if Louis Fabo hits a ball to the fence, Feeney will be going first to third or more. But any other base hit, and Feeney should just cruise into second. You still have to run hard, still need to try to beat a force out at second. Louis Fabo, he'll lean into this one to left. This ball is down. This will be extra bases. Feeney will get the green light to round third. He'll come home and score. It's a 10-4 ball game and a stand-up double for Louis Fabo. Had 2 hits yesterday, 2 today. Fabo, by my count, is up to 227 in his career. And if the career comes to an end, I think Louis Fabo can hang up the cleats knowing that he has put it all out there on the line for Ithaca. Fun player to watch. Doesn't do anything super flashy. He's not a guy you're going to look at getting in the batter's box or taking the swings in the cage and just get blown away by, but he's just so sound and so consistent. Never seems to get off balance, never seems to really take a bad swing. Obviously sees it well out of the pitcher's hand. He's got the hand-eye coordination. He understands hitting. You don't get 227 hits without having that combination. 0-1 count as Laney did look at his strike. He's 1 for 3 with a walk today. Hands up high for this lanky first baseman for Ithaca. This ball might stay in play. Foul ground down the first base side. The first baseman, I hate to laugh, but Matt Edwards as he was leaning over trying to make that grab, could not keep the balance and stabilize himself on the top of the fence, and he actually went spilling over. Fans were over there to help him up. Edwards didn't need a hand. He popped back up. Maybe just slight embarrassment, but probably not even that. I mean, Edwards, after all, he's just playing hard, trying to make the final out of the game over there on the fence line. Nothing to be embarrassed about in that category. 0-2 delivery on the way here to Camden Laney. Ithaca's down to their final out and their final strike. Thomas checks the runner out of routine, maybe more than anything else, and here's another one slashed foul by Camden Laney. It's a 6-run advantage right now for Alvernia. Still feels very comfortable. And if you're the Golden Wolves, even a base hit here from Camden Laney, and you're still feeling fine. Now, start to get into that 4-run lead or less, that old one swing of the bat territory, then there might start to be some tension creeping in for Alvernia, maybe some nerves. I think right now, everybody just on complete cruise control. Not the situation for Ithaca. Bombers again have their season on the line right here. 0-2 count with 2 outs. Runner on second. Pitch down and in, ground ball to second base, and there you go. Sidearm throw will finish it off. Alvernia moves on. The Golden Wolves win it 10-4 over Ithaca. Bombers season will come to a conclusion at 31-11. A great year for David Valcenti. His team will fall short of their goal. Nothing to feel bad about for Ithaca. And you know anything about that program, you know they're going to reload and come back in 2025 with high hopes. The Golden Wolves from Alvernia moved to 29-17. Yogi Lutz has got his team through one elimination game today. They'll be playing in another one later on against an opponent to be determined. It's Lynchburg and Case Western Reserve University coming up at 12:05. First pitch on the way there for that one. And you can stay right here. Athletics.case.edu is the website. Follow along with all the stats and all that good stuff. We are going to have my guy John Schwartz here on the broadcast, and maybe John Schwartz will let me pop in and give a Lynchburg scouting report or something as we get underway. But we'll figure that out. We hope you keep watching. And then, of course, the schedule will be Lynchburg and Case at 12:05. Winner of that game advances to the championship tomorrow. Loser between Case Western Reserve and Lynchburg will take on Alvernia later on today. I guess we're going to try to start that game around 3:30 or so, I think is the expected start time for that. But subject to change. Follow along on your school's website and social media. And again, athletics.case.edu is where you can see all the action. So we'll pause for a bit, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Alvernia wins this one 10-4. Big-time offensive attack from the Golden Wolves. They got a great start from Nick Ferrioli. Evan Thomas comes in to close it down, and Alvernia advances 10-4. They beat the Ithaca Bombers, and they await the loser of Case Western Reserve and Lynchburg, which is coming up. First pitch at 12:05. We'll talk to you then.